Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the same Leggy here representing Team JVS. Here to you guys another movie review. This time around, we have The Roses. This was directed by Roach, and this is a star-studded cast. You have Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch playing the lovely couple that is dealing with life and death through circumstance in Theo and Ivy. You also are getting in this cast Kate McKinnon, Andy Samberg, Sunita Mani, Cutie Garwa. Man, the cast just keeps going on. Allison Janney. It's a huge cast. Now, whether you know it or not, this is actually a remake of a 1989 film called War of the Roses. And that was based on a book and a novel that was written by Warren Adler. Warren Adler created the book in 1981. So this is technically a remake, but then it's an adaptation of the original novel. And how does it fare? Let's go ahead and kind of get into the nitty gritty with this. I was so impressed by this film for a lot of different reasons. But the first reason that I'm going to say effectively was absolutely Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman. They were astonishing. And the reason why I say that they work so well is because one of the things that they have a true talent in is the witty comeback and the ability of being able to tell a narrative through their emotions, whether it is through line dialogue or whether it is through other means. But they normally nail it every single time. But I think that watching them ping off of each other was a true gem to actually watch and see. And so I truly did think that they were the highlight of the film. But let's go ahead and kind of go and unpack it. So with the film, the background of it is you have Benedict Cumberbatch and you have Olivia Colman. Benedict Cumberbatch's character is an architect, and he has got like a huge project. He's always been kind of the breadwinner, and Olivia Colman has always been this talented cook in the kitchen and chef. And what ends up happening is their roles flip. She ends up being the breadwinner, and he ends up having to take a back seat. And it's those relationship shifts that kind of make or break how their relationship is going to last, stand, or fail. And it is a very interesting story because I didn't anticipate to be as how do I put it? Emotionally invested, and at the same time laughing my butt off. This was hilarious. And it is very dark humor because the situations that are happening, they're rooted in real world problems. They're rooted in how people go and have themselves very guarded to try to gauge how they themselves can be able to be available in the relationship, whether that is, oh, well, I'm going to go and take care of the kids, so you go and work, or, oh, I'm going to go and do this other thing so that you can be able to fulfill your dreams. And it always feels like it's a push and pull with any relationship, even if it's a marriage or a general relationship. It's always a push and pull. It's how you go and navigate that makes the make or break. And you see it from every single angle. And with this film, especially how it starts, how this movie starts, like you really were kind of like, man, oh man, this is really bad. But you kind of the film takes its time. It takes time to go through all the different circumstances that bring them to where they're at in a very negative light. They go and they touch on escapism. They go and touch on what does it mean to actually get true therapy? What does it mean to actually do a coping mechanism versus being very, very apprehensive and at the same time guarded? What does it mean to have the needs met for the other person and at the same time to completely take that to the advantage on the negative spin? And that's where I think I didn't anticipate this getting very dark either. Like some of the jabs and some of the conversations that they have and the way things go, they go very dark. And the line delivery and the dialogue are just they are sharp. Now, I think it also helps that the cast around them is really good. I mean, I've always felt like Andy and Kate are really untapped talent, and their comedic timing is perfect here. Like, I don't think that I never didn't laugh at whatever they had going on, and they were also a really interesting pairing. Now, I think that there are some other actors that do steal the show in certain moments. I think that Cutie does a really good job in the scenes that he is in. But I do think that there are some other moments where, like Sunita, for instance, I think that they could have utilized her very differently. But I think it was based on the role. And I think that at the core of this is about this relationship. And what they do a good job about is they have like different pairings and different other relationship friends that have relationships and how they navigate those relationships. Meaning, it could be one friend that they're really cool with, that everything is going right on the outside, but inside they're battling other stuff as well. And then there's the other side of it where somebody may not have a relationship at all and their life is just perfect. And it shows how they perceive other people and also how they perceive themselves. And I think that the dark twist on it is when it gets really, really bad, what are the links that people are willing to go to about self-preservation? And I think that that is where they capitalize on these amazing actors. And I think that the way that Jay leads them is very excellently executed. And it also makes for some really good scenes. Like, there's a scene at a dinner table that may be one of the best lines of dialogue I've seen all year. And it's just this back and forth honesty, destruction, and pure emotion. And even when things are very funny, they're also tailored to be a true message behind it, whether good or bad, and whether the circumstance or not. And I think that they use these actors in a very poignant way in the execution for this. As far as the score, I think there's a very natural score to it. There's a lot of moments where it's very silent, and in other moments where it's just very neutral. And I think that when you add in like the kids into the mix of this and how they handle like the children of this story, I think it's even more engaging and interesting because children are a big proponent when it comes to relationships as well. Like, some people would say it can be the make or break, and some things would say it brings everybody full circle once it's understood what the balance is. But sometimes balances change based on circumstance, and I think that this movie outlines that in a very good way. The other thing that I'll say is I think that the camera work in this is really well done. They do a really interesting job of like when it's like a slow roll and kind of allowing people to be able to come into position to be able to be in the frame. Um, that's handled really well. But then when there are wide shots, when there's movement, whether it's somebody running or somebody crying or somebody is trying to escape an area, they allow the wide shots to make you feel positioned. And I think the reason why they do that is to make you feel like, okay, like this person is outside their comfort zone, but then they also are not around the person that they're their most vulnerable around. And I think that's, at the end of the day, a testament of kind of how, I guess, how good the novel is. Again, I have not read the novel. I've not even seen the 1989 version, but I think I will. Only thing I'd warn you again is very dark. Um, some of the verbiage and the dialogue is very cutting, but you're gonna have a very entertaining time just based on these amazing, talented people and their way of being able to break these characters open from start to finish. And I think it is definitely something you should definitely check out. It's not necessarily a date movie, but at that same time, it is if you're, comfortable within your own relationship and also are having the general conversations. I think one of the things that the movie does do, it breaks up the idea of having true conversation, regardless of how hard it is, and being okay with what that actually means. And yeah, it's really good. It's really good. If I had to rate it, I'd give it a 9 out of 10, maybe even like a 9.5 out of 10. So I rated it like a 9.2, 9.3 out of 10. It was definitely a high mark. And definitely one I don't think you want to miss. And yeah, yeah, that's all I have for now. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. Thank you guys so much for advocating for our content, on whether it is on the social medias like TikTok or Instagram, or whether it is here on YouTube or on our website. We really do appreciate you. Definitely follow us on all social medias in the description bar below. We got a lot more content coming, a lot more TV reviews, discussions, interviews, and much more in terms of movies that you love. We'll talk to you guys a bit later on. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace, people.
Falling off the top